son said, "Dad's drunk." So I said, "No, I'm in Colorado." That's right. So, back to seriousness. Speakman, man. Speakman. Y'all really rock. And it's really a pleasure and kind of humbling to be here with this group here and what you do to empower us to really have the resources and those funds to get to those 11, soon to be 12 disease-modifying therapies. And that's not easy. What you accomplished, Hans, over $300,000 in those 15, 16 years is unbelievable. Many of y'all are experiencing and have done that for people living with MS, not just here, but all over the world. Globally, we are making that impact and making the world free of MS. I want to bring Tony Ralph up, and we're going to, yes, new Orange Man. And I will tell you, Tony's my roommate here on TOC. Okay? And everything he wears is orange. Everything he wears is orange. Okay?
That's awesome.
I'll just leave you with that. Now, we have a few folks that are going to share some things with you this evening. And Tony's going to kick it off here. And I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mark. I'm so very, very happy to be with you guys tonight. Very humbled, as Mark was saying earlier, about the work you do, the money you bring in, the differences you make in people's lives around the country. And I'd like to speak internationally for a second, around the world. The MS Society in this country leads the world in researching and developing the new strategies of how we can combat this disease. I'm a vice president out of San Antonio. In case some of you don't know, I'm one of 5 vice presidents in our region, and it's my honor tonight to bring to you a story from San Antonio. We're going to open it up with a very short 1-minute video. It's a rags to riches kind of story about a team that came out of nowhere 3 years ago with 3 people, and now they're up to over 70 members on the team. And that's all I'm going to say right now, and I'm going to bring the guys up to talk to you, the team captain. So just watch this very brief video, please.
I'm
enjoy.
among celebrities. I'm so not working.
Shut up,
Ready?
Good job.
Give it up to Team Wingman. Do a great job. They are the Wingman Rockers. And I'll just tell you, one of them has MS. I'm not going to tell you who it is. How y'all doing, Fort Collins? I must have got that wrong because you guys weren't loud enough. I'm sorry. How y'all doing, Texas? Let me tell you, we're going to rock tonight. We're going to rock tonight. I got some good news, and I got some bad news. Now, the bad news is, unfortunately, we forgot our guitars. Something about the flight from Houston, a lot of rain, got delayed, all that good stuff. So, that's all right.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't supposed to happen. But the good news is we have an amazing group here among us of amazing fundraisers that tonight we're going to rock together for a cure for MS. We're going to do this together, right? All right, so this is my half of the room. So when I raise my hand and say cure, you're going to sing it as well. And when I raise my arms, this half of the room is going to say MS. So you guys ready to rock? Rock. Let's do this. Ready? Cure!
introduction, and also one thing, I can guarantee 100% that that man is wearing orange boxers. So, in 2007, my best friend and I decided to form a team called Team Wingman because one of our brothers has MS. And in 2007, I'm sorry, not 2007, 2007, me and Andrew got a tattoo. Get my dates all wrong. Okay. Me and Andrew, we decided to get this tattoo after a long day of alcohol, kind of like today. Right? We decided to have some fun in the front yard, in the neighborhood, cause some havoc. My wife got a little upset and told us to sit down and watch a movie with my nephew. At that time, he was 6 years old. And we had to watch a movie called Ice Age 2: The Meltdown. And if you've ever seen that movie, you know that there's two possums in that movie that are just causing havoc, creating some mayhem, always in trouble. And when we sat down, the part of the movie that we were watching was when one of the possums was flying through the air, hit a tree. The other one ran up to him because he was playing dead, and says, "Oh, my friend, my brother, my wingman of mayhem." Hence, the beginning of this logo that's now on our jersey, but it's a tattoo that me and Andrew have up on our left shoulder because we are each other's brothers.
Woo!
Okay? And who knew that a drunken tattoo would turn in, because I didn't know them when they got this tattoo. So who knew that that tattoo would turn into the phenomenon that it has over the last 3 years of inspiring so many living with MS and inspiring so many on our team to raise so much more funds to help cure MS one day. We are
Team Wingman. So, fast forward to 2007. This is where my dates are now right. I met Chris through my wife. Him and her used to work together at Marriott, and Chris was one of two guys in an office of 40 women. So I got stuck talking with him during outings and events and whatever the case may be. Now, if you've talked to Chris this weekend, you know he's kind of a goofball, and I was like, what the hell am I getting myself into? And my wife said, you know, and Chris hates when I say this, but hey, he needs to learn how to fish, how to hunt, and how to get out there and do stuff. Okay? The only thing he's learned how to do is how to demolish a house.
I can't fix it, but I can demolish it.
So we started hanging out, started becoming friends, and you know, he became one of my brothers. I'm closer to this guy than my own blood, and he's my brother from another mother.
Aww.
And back in 2012, I was actually driving home, and I had my beautiful wife in the passenger seat, and I was coming home from work, and all of a sudden I lost my vision. Yeah, not good in the car. She was very nice, and she offered to drive, which was very nice of her. I like that. Good woman. And then my whole left leg went numb, and then for about 2 weeks, I looked like a ping pong in the hallway, just bouncing from wall to wall. And
he was the cheapest date I've ever had.
And went to the doctor's office, waiting for approval, MRIs, all that good stuff. It happened in January. I think it was until March until I actually got the results. And it said, pretty much your MRI is worth 1,000 words. Pretty much looks like a little Christmas tree, little wrinkly lights in there and everything. So it says you have MS.
And you know, when Chris told me about that, I got with Andrew and I decided, you know what, this is the time. This is when we're going to step for our brother. And we decided to form Team Wingman based off of the tattoo that we had. And because I mean, like I said, you know, I love this guy. Andrew was new to the group. And you know, we did this for Chris. And that's when we wanted to start writing. And the previous year, just a quick side note, in 2011, I wanted to ride the bike MS or the MS 150, whatever the heck it was called, in my mind, because I didn't know what it was. All I knew is that it was 100 miles in one day, and I wanted that patch on my shoulder. I wanted to be able to brag to everybody saying, you know what, I rode 100 miles in one day. And I wasn't able to logistically and other issues, but who knew that that following year we would ride 100 miles, 157 miles together.
We all know how and why Rudy decided to form Team Wingman, but Andrew unfortunately wasn't able to make it. But Andrew, trying to figure out why he actually did this. He among the idea that he has a matching tattoo on his left shoulder. But my Angie, which is Rudy's wife, she always loves telling the story. She came up on one of her training rides. She says, I know Rudy's doing this, but Andrew, you don't even know Chris, and you don't take anything seriously. I mean, he's a funny guy, just goofball, and and he pretty much looked Angie straight in the eye, and I was there, and he said, you know what? If it means this much to Rudy, and he's my brother and my wingman, then Chris is my brother and my wingman. So we're going to do this, and we're going to do the whole ride. And so we did, and we formed a team, and Rudy called me. He's like, yeah, we got to do this, sign up. And if you meet Rudy, obviously, he doesn't take no for an answer. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll sign up. Probably to last year, or probably this year. He didn't know.
It was this year.
Yeah, it was this year. I had no intention of doing the ride. I sent out emails, said, hey, help me out. Didn't say anything about me having MS. Just said, hey, help me out. I'm going to do this bike ride. I'll ride all these miles. And all of a sudden, in a month, I had $2,000. And I was like, oh boy, I gotta buy a bike. Because people actually think I'm going to get on the bike.
Now that first year when I had set the goal, I set it at $3,000 between the three of us, thinking that, hey, you know what, we can each raise $1,000. And Chris, as soon as I formed the team, called me up and basically said, WTF are you thinking? Okay? Now Tony told me I can't say words, so but basically said, what are you thinking? What is wrong with you? And then 2 weeks later, our team's at $2,000. And then he's calling me up saying, hey, we need to raise it up to $5,000. Once we hit this $3,000 mark, nobody's going to start getting this money.
Yeah, and then, when we started, fundraising, Rudy's like, you know what, we gotta really increase our goals. We gotta do more fundraising. So, I got the Chive, I got all these other places. I want to post your story about you having MS and all this other stuff on the internet, and pretty much I want it to go viral. I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that. Because, as most people who do meet that are diagnosed with MS, that's something very personal, and some people don't want to share that. So that was the meaning behind the whole jersey, one of us has MS. I told Rudy, I said, you know what, let's put a spin on this. I'm not comfortable right now telling anyone I have MS. But let's put the MRI on there with the demyelinization.
Brandon, mine looks like an alien head.
Yeah.
This could be that much laughing.
And so the whole preface behind it was we were going to reveal that at the finish line. And we did all 157 miles. We were not the first team, and we were the last team. There's no way around it. We were the last team. But something that was pretty amazing. We were in the team tent, and we were finished, and everyone's tired. Got some crazy tan lines, and Rudy and Andrew came over and pulled off the bandana. I didn't know they actually had that on their head. They actually had mine. I was getting choked. Had my name on the bandana.
So if you've seen my bike, this is the bandana that I have tied around my stem. This is something that I will always keep on there. And this is the one that I rode with our first 157 miles that we completed together. start to get choked up myself. But I tell you, this is something that always pushes me, that always keeps me thinking, this is why I ride, this is why we're going to keep on doing what we do. And, in 2012, we had 3 people. We raised $13,000 between the 3 of us. We said, you know what are we going to do next year? We got to open up our team. So we opened up our team, and I said, hey, Rudy, let's set our goal at $30,000. And I said, WTF, yeah. I was like, well, it's cool. We should do it. We could be a top 10 team, it'd be cool. And he's like, well, how are we going to do that? Well, how about we make a little bet? I said, if we make $30,000, I will let the top fundraiser shave my head. I'll grow it out, shave my head at the start line. And his uncle brought him up on stage, and now he's bald. So, that was 2013. That's in the past. We're always moving forward, right? We're always moving together. We're always going out there making that connection. This year, we have 77 people on our team.
Wow.
And of those, 11 are actually living with MS.
Wow.
And I set our goal at $75,000 this year. We had. I'm gonna let him say it.
That's all good. We actually, Tony and Cindy and Lloyd and everyone from the San Antonio office have been very supportive of helping us grow and giving us advice and just taking us under their wing like our wingman. And so on the way up here, we told Tony, said, hey, we got a problem. He's like, is our flight delayed again? Yeah, well, technically, but this is a different issue. So I said, we got a problem. We raised $78,000 already, and our goal was $75,000, and we still have 22 days left of the bike ride. So we have to raise it. He's like, well, why? I said, well, we got to make history this year because no team other than Valero at the San Antonio ride has raised over $100,000. But that's changed already. HEB in the last couple of weeks have actually raised $100,000. So now we have 2 teams. And it's the 25th anniversary, and I told Tony, how cool would it be to have 3 teams of $100,000 this year? He said, well, that would be pretty cool, in a nice Australian accent. So he pushed the button and hit submit, and it was $100,000.
And this year, I guarantee we will raise $100,000. With the 77 people that we have on our team, and the 11 people with the mass on our team, we will be hitting that goal and we will crush it.
And the 11 people living with MS, you kind of wonder, how did we go from 1 living with MS to 11 living with MS? And, that's something that we hold very dear to our heart and our team. Is my uncle also has MS, and he came out on our 2nd year, and my whole family came in from Florida, New York, and they all came out, and he was a virtual fundraiser, and my brother actually rode with me, but my Uncle Don, he rose $4,000 and was part of the Club 100, and about a month before the ride, I called him, and he has some stability issues, and I said, you know what, I can get you a mountain bike, and we can get a low, balanced center of gravity bike, and I want you to wear a Team Wingman jersey, and I want you to go 1 block with me. I said, I'll get you there, and then we'll pick you up, have fun at the rest stops, hooting and hollering, and then I'll see you.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun. And I'll see you at the finish line, and I'll call you, and then we'll ride across the finish line together. He was very uncomfortable ever telling anyone he had MS. And then that weekend, he was telling everybody. He was so excited. I have MS, look what I did. And we tell that story that it's not about the distance. It is not. Whether you do 1 mile, or whether you do 157 or 200, whatever the distance is, this ride is all about the fundraising to help find a cure for MS. Yeah. And the ride is a celebration of your fundraising success. That's the best way to put it. So this year, not only do we have 11 people on the team with MS, a lot of them have offer to do 1 mile, maybe to the first rest stop, they don't really mind because they know that my uncle did that 1 block, and if they want to do 1 block, they can. They can do whatever they want. And it has helped in